Hello everyone, welcome back to Sunless Skies. This game, I keep on, I keep thinking that I'm going to play just a little bit more, maybe another half an hour, but then I end up with these episodes that are 2.5 hours long. I need to not do that. Oh, apparently, okay, that loading tip said that there were a bunch of scribe spinsters in Eleutheria. We've seen them here too, of course. So far, I have not been very happy with Albion. I mean, I keep on wanting to get into it, but the main area is very industrialized and not very pretty. Some of the music's pretty good, but a lot of the areas, they seem like they have these loops. Basically, pay a fee to get into Perdurance or do a tour or into Worldbury juxta Mare, and then you can do a lot of stuff, and you just have to do that over and over again, and each time you have a chance to seeing a little more. Instead of, I don't know. It feels like the Reach was not like that, and so far, 3 of these places have been like that. I liked Parliament, though. I am still worried that we don't have a good place to drop our terror very easily, other than sitting through an entire day at Perdurance. Or Perdurance. Anyway, we were just going to deliver some fuel, some tea, to the sun. And we also are going to stop by the horological office, or Office of Public Works, to turn in a couple other tea. Let's get our ship repaired. And head out. We've been making a lot of progress on our officer quests too, which I really do enjoy. So to the Ministry first, and then west to the sun, right? Or is it north-northwest or what? West-southwest. Okay. We have gotten several things that pointed us back towards the Reach. I think that we are going to want to go back and do another round of quests, and then come back here perhaps, and then maybe go on to Blue Kingdom or Eleutheria, which apparently are through the Reach. And we didn't finish the place anyway, there was still more to do. The Office of Works. Please have a vision of the heavens and 2 tea. And we will get 300 sovereigns. And Strength of the Sun, new total searing. You know, I hadn't thought about that, but maybe we shouldn't be doing this because we're helping the sun. Maybe we don't want to help the sun. I don't know. I was just doing it for money because we don't have a lot of money. That's not fair, though. We have a lot of money in our bank in the form of trade goods. But whatever. Let's see what we need next. So we've already done this. Two caddies of dried tea. I could give them more dried tea, and then we can go up. No, let's just continue on to the sun. So we'll go straight west. Oh, there is still a port down here that we found. Yeah, excuse me. Our bat found it somewhere, but we didn't actually go to it. We were looking for Parliament. I do want to go back up into one of these areas and see if we can find more of those time weft things, so we know whether we're justified in carrying around the what is it called? The Raveling Jack. But whatever. Well, I'm sure we'll encounter one in time. I'm more worried about our terror. I don't want to have to go back to the Reach just so I can go to Magdalen's. But that's looking more likely. Just give me a good bar or something where I can just pay 50 sovereigns to drop my terror by 10. I'd do that. Easy. Yeah. Okay, we'll go up this way and then down. Just to get some more mapping. I was thinking we could head back, but that wouldn't solve any problems. Nothing to report. Oh, we have assaying now, don't we? Yeah, we switched this out for assaying. So can we get that? Oh, it's got an expensive thing next to it too. It just gives me fuel. Oh, so assaying is kind of like scavenging? I thought it would lead to interactions. I don't know. I'll take a fuel though. Now, it certainly seems like there's a lot more things to be scavenged or assayed than there were things to be mined. Like all through the reach, there were rocks and bronzewood things and that kind of thing. Oh, that's just a monitor. Okay, that's it. That's probably the sun. It is getting, you know, more orangey. Look at that. That little... I mean, that would be huge. It must be a huge tree that's making it looking like that. Although maybe it's supposed to be roots. Oh, yeah, Star Maddened Explorer. And it just killed itself. Find the sky story. Our veil still sucks, but we don't need whole. So we'll just get our Tale of Terror and go. Which is probably a mistake. We need to find a way to get rid of our terror. You know, I'm not sure this is the sun. It's like almost north of west. It's not. Well, we'll go there first. But I'm hoping there's like an opening somewhere. Should I have gone north? Because this looks like it's funneling me the other direction. And we're changing biomes, which is not, you know, for the good. Look at that. Big crystals. Ooh. And what are you? You're in a very unfortunate space. But wow, you're tanky. That would have taken forever. A star-seared explorer. That's different. Not sky mad. It's star-seared. Seared. This engine has ventured into sunless waste and spent too long under the cold, searing light of distant stars. Loot the hold. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's the same. No, we would never have gotten a roll of Thirsty Bombazine from a sky mad explorer. Oh. Can I walk through with that? Yeah. There's clearly stuff to the south. Morale is fragile. Yeah. I mean, we're going to the sun, though. You'd think that maybe we can get like a tan or something? I don't know. You think the sun would be a, you know, renewing force. But I don't think this is the sun. I think this is another place. I think the sun's south of us. And I think we definitely went the wrong way. Oh dear. Now this guy, when we fought him before, was so tanky. Took like more than 8 volleys to kill him. Maybe we can get him to run into something again. You near the Ormswold. Huh. There's a lot of stuff going here. What is that? That's a okay, monitors use lasers. That's cool. Do you want to help me out? Discontent. An engineer cries out, her voice hoarse as a professional mourner. We've done this before. So let's, you know, give some food out to reduce our terror a little bit. But only a little bit. That was interesting. It was like a shotgun. It hit really hard, too. Something you can trade or gain hull and terror. Let's fail this and see how bad the... Okay. The glass has been removed from the windows on the bridge. The crew wear goggles, layers of cloth, and thick gloves to allow them to operate despite the cold. You find the glass stained with vibrant colors to ward against the maddening starlight. Okay. So even failing wasn't that bad. I'm kind of curious if... No, the other one won. Mourn the dead. Definitely. We need to deal with our terror. I mean... I bet you could have just gone right like that. And we just went the wrong way entirely. Let's go with this this monitor though. Maybe it'll protect us. If it was on fire, I'd kill it, but I don't think it was close to being killed. Oh, it's tempting. But we're not at full health. Here, you're with me, man. Look how fast it is, too. This is new music. It's good. Let's go explore those real quick. They're so close. The hour of the wolf. It's late and you are alone. Doubts prey upon you. Is this the path you should have taken? You trespass upon the precincts of heaven, and what price will be exacted of you? What price have you already paid? Drink and forget what you have seen. You're developing a taste for the bottle. Using vision of the heavens. when you have an airs of terror, or hope that it passes. I don't want to become an alcoholic, so let's hope it passes. Oh dear. Gained even more terror. Oh, look at this. It's a train. A black hulk. Wreck of the boatman. Approaching the boatman. A wreck drifts just ahead. Fierce winds rock it like an empty cradle. Its black and silver bulk gleams in your lights as you search for its nameplate, the boatman. Captain, a signaler wants your attention. That's an Acropolis line engine. Brought the dead to memoriam. His eyes widen, but it disappeared one eve. They say the dead woke and commandeered the train. Nonsense, I'm sure. But he doesn't look convinced. Okay, well. Your pilot grazes the wreck's hull and has to reverse. Your navigator's hand slips while winching the locomotives close. A clang resounds throughout the engine. When you finally docked, you select a few of your crew to join you. The outer door to the boatman is rimmed with frost. The bolts shriek as they are pulled across. Inside, your torchlight reveals a narrow corridor in somber black, opening onto darker doorways, likely the crew cabins. There is a long moan from somewhere deeper in the engine. Probably the boilers, your stoker whispers. Pressing forward through the cabins, you hear the rattle of something that might be chains. A bolt loosened the chassis, your stoker suggests less confidently. We're gaining terror pretty quick. The boatman is as dark and cold as the grave. Gaslights flicker on the walls, none substantial enough to illuminate more than the empty doorways ahead. A shattered window in the galley is responsible for the merciless cold. The source of the faint but insistent knocking is less clear. So there's like specific events. I was thinking we need to spend a secret, but no. There's like events within the ship. Light in hand, you wander the empty cabins and carriages. The floor of the boiler room is scarred with scorch marks. The captain's cabin is littered with pieces of furniture. There are bullets in the walls. There are no coffins aboard, but the hold is locked. A great groaning emanates from within. Investigate the galley, investigate the engine room, investigate the crew cabin. Something's rattling inside. A carelessly opened cupboard expels an array of personal effects. Brass cufflinks, a conductor's whistle, pewter mugs embellished with memento mori, brass polish for the coffin fixtures, charts of the routes to memoriam, the standard equipment of Necropolis line staff. But where are the crew? A groaning can be heard from below, like the sound of a pipe before it bursts, or a particularly unhappy digestive tract. What about the engine room? The air is as hot and dry as the heart of a work world. The incinerator has been switched on. Something is burning inside. Peering in, you can make out the remains of a bundle of black and silver uniforms, smoldering into ash. Well, only one left. Crew cabins. You pass a mirror and glimpse a skull where your face should be. The rest is mantled in shadow. Returning to the mirror, you see the glass is broken. There's a hole in the wall. So what did I see? I mean, our terror is getting really high. This is a problem. Investigate the captain's cabin. The room is Spartan. The bed looks uncomfortable. Someone has arranged her pillows and a surprisingly number of moldering stuffed toys beneath her sheets, in the semblance of a sleeping form. The only other furniture in the room is a barren writing desk with a journal and pen abandoned upon it. You can hear weeping somewhere far away. 63% chance? Why can't I do this? I need 15 tales of terror? Really? 15? And then we failed this and gained 10 terror. Your light gutters and dies. You hear footsteps nearby. Your crew? You stumble in the dark. A cold hand takes yours, clammy like the bottom of a pond. Let me help you. Your light flares again. The pallid, bloated face smiles like an overripe peach, slitting. Your navigator finds you sometime later. Why was your lamp out, Captain? Yeah, that would scare me. That scares me right now. We need Tales of Terror. I don't think we can progress this. We might be able to get more Tales of Terror, but not without actually getting terrified. So, yeah, we'll have to come back when we have more terror. There is a thing just to the south. Maybe somewhere we can mourn the dead. No, it's just a structure. Let's get to that port. We desperately need to drop some terror. We've never been so afraid. We'll come back. 15 Tales of Terror. Just remember that. Like, I've been discarding stuff down to 5. Maybe I should up that to 20. At least we have plenty of supplies and stuff. For now. Touch wood. There's a wall. Okay, let's go south. We'll hope we can get our way to it. Oh, don't be mean, game. Okay, it looks like it does go wrap around. McMaster's pen. That's pleasant looking. This looks a lot like Port Avon, kinda. Nullius in Verba. The Rochester Club. A new port! They helped our terror a bit. The Airy. The Royal Society. Okay. Well, first thing first, nothing in the bazaar. And let's go ahead and grab a bit more supplies. Pretty mansions of stone and glass rise above the verdant gardens, while below machines whir and groan. A persistent sound of hammering pounds through the air. The Celestial Exhibition or the Royal Society? Nullius in Verba, what does that mean? Nothing is spoken? I don't know. The Celestial Exhibition. To the delight of mostly himself, the mellifluous president is planning an exhibition in the Royal Society. Its theme will be the science of the skies. He's happy to pay visiting captains for items of interest they might come across. So this is a way to convert uncanny specimens. But we only have 17, and we just said we wanted to make we just said we wanted to keep 20. So academic stuff. That's the whole idea of it. We do have quite a few otherworldly artifacts. Condemned experiments. Oh, Searing Enigma counts as one of these. I didn't think about it that way. I thought this was... I don't know what I thought. But it kind of makes sense that... I bet they all are right next to each other in our possessions. Yeah. Academe stuff. Academy stuff. We have a lot of... What would be the other Bohemia stuff? I don't know. Presumably there's a fourth one of these. And what passengers do I have? Oh yeah, I remember the psalmist going for the Blue Kingdom. And you wanted to go to Hybris. I have looked at the screen in quite a while. Whole bunch of favor stuff. Oh, we got our port, a Prosper port report. That's funny. Okay. Interesting. So no, we're not going to donate anything. Sorry. The Royal Society. The words Nullius in Verba are written across the stonework above the great bronzewood doors. Her renewed majesty has granted these grounds to the finest minds in Albion to work here. This is not what I was expecting. I mean, given the surrounding, I thought this would be like a pirate holdfast or something. I don't know. Their purview is to invent, to hypothesize, to discover, and most crucially, to watch the stars. I said skies. Whatever. Introduce yourself. The mellifluous president greets you. He directs your attention to the new marble on the floors, to the cheerful portraits of distinguished Royal Society members lining the hallway, and finally to the very large portrait of himself in his plush library. We do like captains here at the Royal S. We need our space and, frankly, our comforts to think. But it is you brave souls who do the real legwork. Extremely educational. If not, our gardens are extremely fine, as is our conversation and the part. I'm looking for those gardens, man. I need to get rid of this tear. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Well, get that port report, first of all. The Royal Society hums with activity. The preparations for a new wing of Airy House are in motion. The mellifluous president is convening another committee to continue the renovations of the gardens. The astronomers are excited about a star of burnished amber seen far to the east. The Rochester Club regrettably continues at high speeds. We need Royal Society gratitude. Okay, I want to do this, but let's see if we can shift some of our officers towards iron. So, 6 iron there. 6 iron. 2 iron. 6 iron. And 2 iron. Okay, it didn't change yet. Let's just get back into that window. 55. That's not the best chance, but like, what is our iron? That's 55, so it's just however much iron you have. Sure. Hey, success. The gardens were an early attempt by the Society to stamp their mark upon the sky. More interesting avenues for scientific exploration quickly presented themselves, and the gardens were left to run wild, half-tamed. The overgrown gardens are beautiful but hazardous to the casual walker. You, however, are a veteran rambler. The ha-ha is no obstacle to your fearless tread. The follies neither deceive nor divert you from your path, and you can tell from a mile off the bog is a bad idea. You find yourself in a pleasant faux classical temple, dedicated to the suns. Someone has left something behind. And time has passed, apparently. Whenever it says that, I looked at the date, but it doesn't ever seem to change. I think it really just means, like, my event status has changed. What could it be? A faceted decanter. Another roll of bombazine. The decanter is empty. Closer examination reveals it's merely cheap glass, but the cloth it rests upon, a sliver of exquisite fabric, shrouded in shadow. It drinks light like a prisoner having his first cup of wine on freedom. Well, that didn't help me. I need to lose some terror. Let's visit the president. Hello, Captain. Do come in. The mellifluous president steeples his fingers. On his desk, metal suns suspended from silver frames clack in the breeze. Now, are you here about work, or do you consider the term vulgar as well? I send reports back to London periodically, but we can't be everywhere. So much to do, so little time. Places of particular solar activity will do nicely. Oh, so he wants specific port reports. So, the House of Rods and Chains. I bet that's another theory. Or maybe in Blue Kingdom. This is the sun, that's where we were looking for. And, of course, Palmier and Plenty. But either way, we don't have it. We can apparently trade 4 sky stories for an invitation to Perdurance, which does not at all seem worthwhile. But let's keep that in mind. Let's, like, you can't choose which port reports you turn in. They just kind of all go when you go to one of the people that can take them. I don't know. We got several things to do. Nells Tower. The Royal Society's observatory is named for King Charles's canniest mistress. Nells Tower is the jewel in the Society's crown. Wait a minute. His canniest mistress? He's cheating on the Queen? I mean, the Queen is all-powerful. You kind of get the impression that maybe she prefers that, otherwise it wouldn't be happening. I don't know. A sign on the door in neat copperplate reads, Nells Tower closed for the 13th annual Airy Dinner. I guess we have to go to the dinner first. There's a polite cough at your shoulders. Turning, you see a tall man with a beard like a nest of vipers. The supercilious bursar introduces himself. I came to round up stragglers, but as a captain, you are of rank sufficient to attend the dinner if you wish to attend. The dinner is held in the mahogany and marble imperial dining room of Airy House. Every piece of the dinner service is mismatched, and both the furniture and the personages in the room are pleasantly rumpled. The supercilious bursar brings you to the high table, where the 3 senior astronomers of Nells Tower are holding court. You are introduced to the senatorial professor, the chair for the effulgent sciences, and the lecturer for imperial affairs. Okay. Definitely reduce terror. Good lord! It's smoked like fine cheese and fired like a master potter's kiln. The color is pale ruby, like a star-kissed stone. Its bouquet is Homeric, as are the epithets you lavish upon it. The senatorial professor smiles and adjusts his blindfold. From the ruins at Port Avon. Probably not. Probably, that's where they grow apples there. So, anyway. The first course ends with a great smacking of lips and a general feeling of goodwill towards the chef. The supercilious bursar passes the dish of buttered potatoes with an oily smile. The conversation continues, lubricated by Herculean quantities of port. Buttered potatoes, roast squirmlings, and sautéed Hybrian mushrooms are devoured in between rhetorical thrusts. Presumably we'll be able to talk to all of them, but that's cool. Tell me about the lecturer in imperial affairs. The lecturer keeps her voice low and produces a pen from her iron bun. She scribbles on her napkin as to explain your recent history. They resent me here, you understand. I was a direct appointment by Her Majesty's government. They dislike being reminded who holds the purse strings. The second course ends with the lecturer in imperial affairs telling a rather ribald joke and a hearty toast to the continued health of all present. So it is progressing as we go along. We could, I don't know. I wonder if the order would matter, which one, what they say. Sherbet produced in London sweet shops, sponge cake from the Admiral Nelson on Port Prosper, clotted cream and actual strawberries grown in the gardens, more port. The conversation grows looser, the story is more risque. The supercilious bursar leans in conspiratorially. I arrange these dinners to promote unity, you understand. And, of course, for the good memory of our previous president, who nobly argued for the introduction of the society to the wilderness and convinced Her Majesty of our utility. He toasts the large portrait of Airy that dominates the room. Let's talk to the chair for the effulgent sciences. Are those limbs? Rays? She smiles widely. Something I saw last time I was permitted to use our great scope. Honestly, what's the point if we have to ask permission every time we move it? Did Isaac Newton need King Charlie's permission to discover gravity? The third course comes to a close with a great groaning and a heartfelt but false protestations that one couldn't possibly manage cheese and biscuits after all this. The supercilious bursar leans in as the plates are cleared away. Before we adjourn, there is a question of patronage to consider. All eyes are on you. A hush falls over the table. The three faces of the astronomers are turned to you. The supercilious bursar continues as though nothing has changed. Our telescope is operated only by the will of the government. We are not allowed to move the telescope without permission. A bold skyfarer such as yourself might obtain such permission, or at least an official-looking document that could conceivably be construed as permission. Our astronomers will be very interested in patronizing you. You bring them a permit and they can advance their researches. In exchange, they'll teach you what they know. I didn't even get to talk to all of them. This is a blindfolded astronomer. I mean, that's just too perfect. So London's appointment, someone specializing in the habits of stars, or the senatorial professor. I have no idea what that means, but that's... He reaches out to shake your hand. I shall endeavor to instruct you more kindly than I was. I hope I shan't give you cause to regret your choice. Come to the tower when you wish to begin. Bring a permit if you wish to actually make use of the telescope. I wish they'd let me talk to them more before making me choose. So it's ministry stamp permits? Yeah, we have a few of those. You require a fresh perspective, so I can renounce it and do another one. I guess I can apparently choose a new patron right now. Anyway, let's go ahead and observe the Clockwork Sun. The sun's rays shine from Albion's farthest corner to London in all its glory. Gold as bright as a king's hoard burnishes the empire in radiance. The sun never dims. You draw away, dazzled, and gain some terror. Sure. Go ahead and move the telescope. The ascent to the telescope is arduous and up an improbable number of winding stone stairs. At the top waits the telescope, gargantuan and gleaming as a slumbering dragon in its lair. The professor bounds up the last few steps and harries you to pull the chain that raises the dome while he fiddles with the machinery to lower the telescope to eye level. An assistant is on hand to do the actual work. What did we move it to? I don't know. Read your patron's last report. Progress. Slow and inexorable as the spinning of a spider's web, but progress all the same. A stray observation based on the patches of luminosity in the sky and the correspondent darkness between others. The constellations are politic. Okay. Anything more? No. Okay. And we can't do it again because we need to wait for time to pass. I'm not feeling like I got much out of this, but that's okay. Let's go somewhere else. The Rochester Club. A cozy country house bolted onto the side of the society's glass houses and overgrown lawns. This is the meeting place of the infamous Rochester Racing Club. Brandy glasses gleam on the shelves. Polished brass fixtures abound. A fire roars in the hearth. Members sit in comfortable armchairs comparing war stories. Parts salvaged from broken trains adorn the walls. So we can make the driver leave. I think I'll wait. I think I don't. I think I want to progress this story more. What does he need to do next? He was needing me to find... you need me to find the last seed. Or whatever it is. What was it? The last bit of your verdancy. And we found it's in Hostrup Deep, which is to the west-southwest. Actually, that's pretty close to where we are. Okay. Well, we didn't find it yet. But either way, can I join the Rochester Club? The dismal debutante curls her lip. The boisterous harridan cackles. The current Lord Rochester laughs gamely before abruptly stopping. Oh, you were serious? He coughs to conceal his embarrassment. Well, should you really wish to join our merry company, you have to prove yourself a proper racer. The careless Deathless in her smoked velvet jacket appraises you carefully. You'll need to prove your mettle, my dear, win one of our races, and we'll be happy to admit you. See, I think this is going to make me do a race, and we'll have to, like, go to another port. I'm going to not do that. I'm going to wait. What about Portsmouth House? The workshops under the Eyrie are known collectively as Portsmouth House. The glass and brick factories are staffed by harassed inventors and engineers, working constantly to produce the next advancement in adventuring equipment. Ooh, that sounds good. The Portsmouth Arsenal. Smoke and soot, glass and steel, the ring of hammers on metal, the swearing of engineers, the acrid scent of sweat. Here in the bowels of Portsmouth House, the scientists of the Royal Society work to produce experimental designs. A team of engineers led by the energetic mechanic are excited to get to work on whatever you'll pay them for. You can convert goods to experimental modifications, which can be exchanged for unique equipment. Ooh. So we can contribute specimens, vision of the heavens, munitions, artifacts, hours, lots of stuff. Everything. Like ridiculous number of things. Okay. Before we do any of that, let's see what we can do with it. Pieces as much abandoned as finished are stored in this long gallery. Equipment gleams behind glass cases, like exhibits in a technical-minded museum. Take your time, the energetic mechanic says, leaning against a wall. Let me know if I can be of any assistance. So, the Montresor Chamber. It's a bridge slot, 50 veils. Interesting. I kind of wish I could just see it on like a, you know, a merchant screen, a buy-sale screen, like one of these, but I can't. Okay. I can't even see what I already have. Rossetti cabins occupy plating. It's armor 8 and quarters by 2. So we have something on there already that I believe is armor 10. Amniotic crew containment is plating also. Veils at 75. And this is just basically a better version of that, but it requires veils instead of hearts. And needs 8 experiments. The Mighty Pen Defensive Library System occupies an auxiliary slot. Armor by 5 and hold by 4. It's not terrible. I'm not feeling it, but Mechanical Turk occupies an auxiliary slot and gives me hidden compartments. You haven't had a use for that yet. I guess that's for contraband? Well, we'll keep that in mind. The Prosperino Superior Mining and Smelting. Auxiliary slot, veils of 25, and increases hold. Okay, so it's kind of like the butchering thing we got, except for it's a mining array. Carmilla, a forward-mounted cannery. It's mounted in the bridge slot. Requires mirrors of 25 and increases armor by 5. That's weird. So right now we've got... These are all very strange things. So basically they're rotating crew improvements onto the plating, and they're rotating other stuff out of the auxiliary slots. Is kind of my impression. Do we even have veils at 25? I don't think we do. Like, I definitely feel that if we're going to want to get one of these, we're going to need to get first one of these. where we can get quarters on a plating. But we can't get that one. That's not going to work. We don't have the veils for it. So right now, my thought is to get this one, which needs 8. This seems useless. Well, not really useless, but you know, that's not what I want. I'm curious about this one. And this one. So 8, 10, and 9. 27 altogether. Okay. So what can we do? We've got a ton of these things. Here, take some specimens. Well, let's bring it down to 10. Vision of the Heavens. Certainly we can go ahead and give you this. I kind of don't want to give up my otherworldly artifact. I'd rather give you hours. Like, that seems like that's the easiest way. Give them tons of hours. Hours are cheap. Everything else, I mean, like Searing Enigmas, a Searing Enigma is worth more than 4 hours. We need those for the sun. What about your suit? I didn't think that was an option. The energetic mechanic gives you a delighted smile. So glad you asked. Yes, I did repurpose it. Did all the work myself. Keeps me warm in the cold and cool when things are a little too warm. Closer examination reveals tiny sigils of fire and ice scintillating across the diving suit's surface. For a moment their tone is rueful. Cost me nearly everything to create. Wasn't sure it'd be worth it, but the places I've been able to see. I can travel to waste where all the stars are dead, or explore the eye of the storm that speaks. Can I get it? I guess not. Okay. Here, have some visions. Like, we can get that for just a gossip. It's pretty easy. And we can get uncanny specimens just by killing a cantankerous. And I guess we can technically get otherworldly artifacts just by what? Doing expeditions at Trader's Wood? How many of these do I have now? 7? Let's make sure we keep at least 5. That's what I was doing before. And now we're down to 7 of those. Certainly not an experiment. I'll give you 1 artifact, sure. Alright. And now we can buy stuff. I wanted this thing, right? I mean, technically, if I had 2 plating slots, I could get 2 of them, right? Whatever. Okay, and I wanted the mining. And I wanted the last one. This one. There. Down to nothing. So let's take a look at that. Right now, we have... This is giving us 8 hold in that slot. And our bridge slot is giving us 6 quarters. But this is just 10 armor. So I think that's an easy switch. 2 armor for 2 quarters? That's easy. Now if I swap this, 6 quarters versus just some armor. 6 quarters. That's kind of painful. And we don't have Veils of 25, so we'll need to wait for that. I'm thinking that this will be worth it eventually, but not yet. Let's wait. Okay. The workshops. Oh, is there an entirely different thing? Maybe. Perhaps they'll be willing to furnish your... Okay, I'm going to end up regretting buying those things. Talk to the engineers. The senior engineer marches across the smoggy workshop floor to meet you. Well, hello. We're frightfully busy. We're examining the effects of vitrification on Murgatroyd's tea. We've just had a breakthrough. There's a gentle explosion behind her, followed by a tinkle of shattering glass. Sorry, I must ask. Do visit the arsenal if you're looking for something special. Maybe, okay, it's probably the same thing. So visit the inscribed tinkerer. The inscribed tinkerer likes her workbench tidy, and her tea as strong as the devil's opinions. She believes in iteration of technology, of society, of people, and her inventions are intended to mitigate specific dangers and obstacles of the high wilderness. Her tea-stained notebook bulges with blueprints, and her skin is covered in inky treatments of the correspondence. She raises an eyebrow as you enter her office. Thank God, I was in need of a break. She can provide truly exceptional equipment if she likes you. Okay. We have to do a quest for her first, though, I guess. The inscribed tinkerer produces a slim notebook. The correspondence, Captain. The incandescent language. The Pentecostal tongue of the stars. She invites you to examine the broken sigils that score her skin, mirrored in her notebook. I've heard of a unique sigil I've not come across before. It's been cited by students in Trader's Wood, by an old friend in the mausoleum, and by my least favorite person in Pan. As a captain, you can get to those places to confirm the sighting. Okay. So, we can go to those places, except for I don't know where Pan is, or the Most Serene Mausoleum, but I've heard about it. It's somewhere in Albion. I think Pan is in Eleutheria. Okay, well that gives us a goal to come back to. I mean, technically, you could buy carefully packed munitions here, and then give them away for one modification each. So if you have money, you could just get all the ones you want. But we did not reduce our terror. Not at all. Hall. I wonder if we should go to Whirly-Burly Juxtamare and do another, I don't know. Yeah, let's go to Whirly-Burly Juxtamare, which I'm assuming I'm saying it wrong, Whirly-Burly. It's Whirlbury Juxtamare, which I believe means next to the sea. So, Whirlbury by the sea. Yep. In hindsight, yes, that was not a good thing to do. There we go. Decent chunk of experience. Let's go up to here. We'll do a couple, or at least one tour. Hopefully lose some terror. Go back to London, resupply, and then go out for the sun again in the future. McFarland's Glen. But we don't have time for this. We're just gonna go straight over. Get out of here. But yeah, we've had so much terror trouble since we got to Albion. Maybe it's just because I don't know enough. Like, when we got to New Winchester, pretty much the first thing they did was say, go to Port Avon and then go to Magdalen's. And both of those are great places to resupply and to get your teardown. There might be one here too, we just don't know where it is. I'm not going to waste an invitation to Perdurance, though, just to get my teardown. Wasn't it all foggy here last time we came this way? Or am I thinking the wrong place? I might be. I am. I'm thinking east of Worldbury. Yeah, now we enter the fog. Oh dear. A junior signaler receives a dose of medicinal port in the infirmary after seeing a frozen corpse spin past a window. The experience has shaken him. The dead are hungry! We need to make an offering or it'll come back, a knocking at the hole. It didn't take long for Skyfarers to shed their ridiculous old nautical superstitions and replace them with ridiculous new ones. Recover the body and transport it for burial will lower my terror by 50 but increase nightmares. No, we're still trying to avoid nightmares. This search will cost fuel, but maybe cause terror also? I gained a savage secret, though. Oh. I'd say that's worth 2 fuel. Actually, no. Fuel's worth 20 each, right? Or 40 each? 20 each, so that definitely paid for itself nicely. Good risk, I guess. Now, if I remember, we did not get our tear down to 0 because this was ridiculously expensive. Or we had to, like, use influence or something. This is different. The Mists of Worldbury. Ooh. Fog rises from below, seeping through the wooden slats of the dock. The crowds waiting in the queue begin to sing, a watery, ululating tune of no discernible melody. Join the song of the mists. Offer sanctuary aboard your train. To get some more crew at the cost of terror, perhaps. Join the song. As the final harmony dies with it, peace is restored. Oh, the mists recede. As the final harmony dies with it, peace is restored. Even the memory of the song in your part its choir fades from memory. Looking down, there's something in your hand. A doll, embedded with many small sticks and bound with rope. It has no face, but its stare is no blanker than those in the faces of people around you. And we gained an artifact. Good deal. Okay. So that would be a stamped permit. I'm in favor with the chairman. Is this going to lose that? Well, there is a Pauper's Pass. Let's go ahead and try this. See if we can have a chance. Seems like it's time-based. A child stares at you without... Oh, we gained terror. Darn it. Delicate tentacles laced with her mother's... A child stares at you without blinking. Delicate tentacles laced... What? After a few minutes, she tugs on her mother's wrist, and the two touch their heads together to whisper, their voices like the hiss of the surf. It is time. A drum roll is performed by a smugly beaming child in a bright blue uniform. A maternal figure, similarly attired in cobalt, counts off those at the front of the queue. She reaches you, then 3 behind you, then stops. That's it. The rest of you have to come back for the next lottery. Workers from the Bureau of Entertainment swoop in, gathering the lucky winners. Alright. So, we need a different... We wore a coat last time. Let's go with some good shoes. There we go. Okay. I still need to I need more affiliation Bohemia. I forgot about that. But either way, not our trouble. Let's go down to the beach. And let's go dipping in the sea. To lose some terror a little bit. You are lowered into the mists, a rope around your waist. If it kicks up a fuss, just kick it in the face a few times. You'll be fine. Wait, what was it you said? A blonde-haired boy, exquisitely sculpted, challenges you to a race. You dive in simpatico and barrel down into the mists. You end up the de facto winner, of course. If only one individual emerges from a competition, they, by default, win. That's kind of creepy. I mean, let's go back. Let's try succumbing to the wiles of a rubbery lumps. Seller. My terror has fallen a little bit. Not very much, though. We'll explore a tiny lane bedecked with shops. And my terror has fallen a little bit more. It's going down by like 6 or 7 each time. A woman calls you over to a stall selling toffee something. They're a little too large to be apples. She assures you with a broad smile that, of course they're apples. Maybe you haven't seen one recently and can't recall how they look. Some of the toffee has fingerprints in. Still, that child, bedecked in frills, seems to be eating some without suffering any obvious harms. Okay. So consider the strangeness of the lanes. This enables you to investigate the weirdness of Worldbury Juxtamare. I think we should do that. So this is 100%, this is 100%. You need 75 at most. We're going to gain terror from this. But that's okay. It is most likely the smiles, maybe, carnivore expressions, syrupy and gleaming, faultless mirrors of the couturier's dazzling grin. Or maybe it's the second-rate souvenirs cobbled from haberdashery and children's nightmares. The arsenic aftertaste of the candy floss. The wine-wild quality of the local perfumes. Could be anything. Could be just your insecurities, the air of your existence. Whatever the case, the lanes continue their watch. Politely, of course. As you become familiar with the oddities, more of the port becomes available. We gain some nectar, we gain some gossip, and some savage secrets. And we gained terror. In a place so bright and joy-filled, it's easy to be distracted. Whatever it was you'd noticed about Worldbury Juxtamare, it's gone now. Huh. So, I'm not sure we progressed anything. I think by doing this option, we have lost our ability to, do it again. But it didn't seem like we ended up... I don't know. It says more options will become available, but I'm not sure how they're tracking that. As you spot what is not right, you start to see what's actually there. Okay, so we are getting some improvement over time. Down to 60, but let's try saying we know the right sorts. You've used up a little favor. Okay. I mean, we have a lot of favor, don't we? The official checks a list for your name, nods, and clicks their fingers twice. Workers from the Bureau of Entertainment quickly commandeer your attention. Yeah. So this time we're going to go in with a perfect dress. The couturier deploys two gangly youths, both pale, with eyes like the death of days. Sunset colors to complement their uniforms. Anyway. As you spot what is not right, you start to see what's actually there. So yeah, this is actually happening differently. Next time we get out, let's see if we can raise our affiliation of Bohemia a little bit. I don't think we can, but maybe we... I don't know. Let's take a donkey ride. Thanks to your donkey's multitude of taloned legs, you find yourself enjoying an unusually scenic ride along the shore. Who knew donkeys were such expert climbers? You are returned to the paddock of nervous customers intact, and only moderately traumatized. Lost 5. Ruminate on the nature of donkeys. Okay. They are very earthy animals, but where has their odor gone? Their odor? The extraneous entrails they've shed, the vomit. For all the sounds the donkeys made, for all the viscera they disgorge, all the creatures they disembowel, they seem to be remarkably sanitary creatures. No trace of their refuse is to be seen anywhere. The beach remains spotless. But there, look, a donkey is vomiting ropes of grey intestine into the sand. Surely now bile and blood will reveal themselves. Oh, are we just walking around in, like, soaked in blood and... Oh, that's... Except they don't. The air flickers, and once again, everything is completely hygienic. We gain terror and disgust. Now you can see Worldbury Juxtamare for what it is. You can see there's a whole other Worldbury trapped just below the first. This seems like it's important. So, okay, and this is how it's tracking it. It's tracking it with Worldbury weirdness. It just hasn't been showing it go up. Clamber through the gnarled door. You pry the door open. Inside is the throat of a short tunnel. Connective tissue, really, leading out into a star-swallowed twilight. A canal slicked with juices that cannot so much be seen as felt. Your journey begins here. Push through to the other side. You press down. It sticks to you, vernix and the warm reek of intestinal meat. Gelatinous and insistent you remain where you are. This is getting gross. Perhaps it is the Sisyphean nature of the travel. Perhaps it's carelessness. Whatever it is, the voice of the man ahead of you, salt dry and salt cold, comes as a surprise. You're late for the sermon, too? He hisses. We mustn't be late for the sermon. His hand grasps yours, tugs you through a translucent membrane, across the path, through church doors. You don't have time to observe the port. The air seizes you, cold as a corpse's kiss, and something about it is wrong. The bedraggled parson stands before his people, palms raised. Today we stand before they who must grieve, to give praise to their sacrifice. Without them there be no joy, no agony against which we might juxtapose the sweetness of our existence. Do not ever forget this. If you forget all else, do not forget this. He raises his eyebrows at you. A pleasure to see a new member. Please join us later on the beach. Okay. So we're in a cultist area, listening to the sermon. The bedraggled parson paces across his stage, lit up from behind by his reverence, his conviction in the sutras of his speech. Here is a man assured in his precise place in the universe. And remember, next Tuesday, a baptism at the Mists. All those looking to experience a closer connection with they who must grieve come down to shore. Talk to the cultist to my right. Upon closer inspection, it becomes evident that it isn't her hair that sits atop her skull, but thousands of delicate cilia. Still, aside from that one anomaly, the woman seems normal and generous with her attention. I like coming here. The parson's got a good heart. No idea what he's trying to say sometimes, but he's got a good heart. He wants us to rise up, rise beyond who we are and what we are. We've just got to give ourselves to they who must grieve. That's how I got this. She strokes her hair in the mists. But honestly, I'm only here because the parson's a pretty one. Hello, they burble gently at you, their voice like a chorus of brooks. You're new. When they speak, you can see that they do not, in fact, have tongues, but a mouth like the inside of an intestine, soft with pale villi. Perhaps that is why they sound the way they do. The Bureau does not like me in Worldbury Juxtamare. They don't even like me in the off-season, but I have seen they who must grieve, and I'll remember that day always. It transformed my body, my mind, my heart. An unexpected intrusion! There is little resistance from the congregation, merely an affected resignation. The officers from the Bureau of Entertainments are civil as they evict the crowd. Interesting. I kind of had the impression that the people running the place were, like, being kind of sketchy. But it doesn't seem that way. It seems like instead... I don't know. There's, like, two sides here. Once they've surmised that you do not belong, the officers leave you largely alone, occupying themselves, instead, with the task of extricating the parishioners. The bedraggled parson's disciples cooperate with only minimal contempt, moving where they're told, answering questions when they're asked. All in all, a courteous disruption. Come on, then, let's go. The rictus smiles of the officers are identical in their splendor, as is the exquisiteness of their uniforms, the oiled shine of their dark hair. The Bureau of Entertainment is the branch of the Ministry of Public Decency responsible for the well-being and upkeep of Worldbury Juxtamare. Go quietly. You really should have said something, coos a woman, box-shouldered and fetchingly crocodilian, her smile something a scrimshawed into her jaw. Why didn't you say anything? Oh well, too late now. The bruises are charming, I promise. Now off with you. Back to Worldbury, back to civilization. She thrusts you through the exit and bolts the door behind you. The journey burns like the birth of a star, boils beneath your muscle. Okay. Slide across to the off-season, which apparently needs savage secrets. Go on to the beach. I think I'm going to go to the office of the Bureau of Entertainments. Like, I think that the people turning them into those who must grieve or whatever, turning people into tentacle things, that's not good. Let's see if we can, betray that cult. If you become too popular with the cult, the ministry will not trust you. But, oh well. Oh, how beautiful! Chandeliers dripping with diamonds, gilt-limbed cornices of marble, Baroque atria so magnificent it could drive one to tears, all leading to a sumptuous little office. Its walls painted gold by candle flame. The toy maker, who looks like an amber-cast cousin to the couturier, sits at the desk, mending plush toys. If you're here to assist, you may speak with me. Speak with him. Reports tell me you are with the cult, but not of the cult. The toy maker sutures the teddy bear's black button eye back in place. That sermon caused a fuss. He spits the word like it was a jag of sharp bone in the off-season. People are taking risks. People are dying. So very wasteful. He tilts his head like a sparrow. We have to protect our working class. They dwell in the off-season and mustn't be disturbed. Their work then keeps this era of Worldbury pristine. They stand between our guests and untoward horror. They don't trust me. Well, I'm going to help them. It's no good us clamping down. Not now. It'll drive the workers into the parson's arms. The toy maker glowers at his needle. He pricks the plush in his hands. Once, twice, 3 times for good measure. Just make them realize that the cult is not the answer. Or I suppose you could hamper the cult directly. Up to you. The toy maker rings a tiny silver bell. One of the authorities steps in, uniform bright blue, buttons polished to a mere sheen. You can see your face upside down in their gleam. Help our guest to the nice exit, will you? Okay. The officer doffs their hat and walks you to an ornate door. Its trim comprised of nymph-like figures, limbs salaciously intertwined. Wordlessly, they crowd you forward until you take the hint and make the crossing into the off-season. There's a lot going on here. Okay. Worldbury Juxtamare has become a corpse. The run-down bones of its forgotten attractions swarm with bedraggled men and women, all armed with cleaning equipment. This is where the workers of the Worldbury live and labor to create the gaudy frontage seen by tourists. The beach is now a decaying mess, visited only by the cultists who attend the chapel there. To linger here, you'll need to work, but labor is poorly paid. Take other workers' jobs too often, and they'll firmly encourage you to depart. Working in the off-season, we have 4 in all. So again, it's a limited number of things we can do. Assist with shoveling. Feed the lanes. Go back to the touristy part with a permit. Or leave the off-season and go away. You know what? We did have a very high chance of succeeding with this. Incite dissent and dissatisfaction. Stamp down the cult. If you interfere with recruitment, it would set the cult back. You'll only lose your savage secret if you fail. Angry workers seek change, but not the kind the cult offers. A rioting proletariat will dismiss the cult with scorn. You tell the workers the truth, they deserve more than they've gotten. At first they're suspicious, but your glibness tightens like a noose, and soon they're swinging to your tune. The riot is tepid but serviceable, a half-hearted gang of malcontents campaigning for longer lunch breaks. You've done what the Bureau wanted. You have to return to their headquarters for a reward. Okay. I don't seem to be able to do it from here. Well, let's do other stuff on the off season. Worldbury Juxtamare is shattered beams and broken stone. The beach is a stretch of filth, clotted in stinking clumps. Even here there's work to be done. You could assist. Divest the donkeys of their eggs. Let's go visit the cult. Their chapel lies on the beach at the edge of the mist. It is wefted tendons and yellowing bone. The pews muscle cured in salt. I don't get that. Yeah, I'm not getting that. It's amazing how spacious this place is, given the exterior. From the outside, it looks like just another corpse washed onto the shore. Agree to a request, recruit for the cult. I'm not going to recruit for the cult. No. Let's go talk to the parson. His voice is water, warm, hypnotic. They were kind to you, the bedraggled parson says, abruptly and without vitriol. Only a pale wonder. Eyes fever warm under the wilds of his hair. It's all he extends. Was he talking about the officials from the Bureau or someone else? Let's get out of here. 56% chance. Try. Hey, good deal. The donkeys are infertile, a flint-eyed woman reassures you. None of these eggs will ever reach fruition. The zygotes strangle themselves and God. But they do need to be flensed from the donkeys, otherwise there's the risk of rot and worse. What on earth are these donkeys? You spend a few hours with a knife gingerly paring the eggs from the underside of their bellies. They come apart in clusters, soft and milky gray, their inhabitants silvery and still. Let's go back to the off-season. Why am I doing work? I hate to spend a permit. Let's try doing this. Assist with the shoveling. A grumpy woman wastes little time on exposition. She passes you a shovel, a few words of advice, and jabs a gloved finger at a seething mound beside you. Try not to breathe deeply. Over the course of the next few hours, you discover two things. The first is that donkey feces, once it starts burning, smells curiously like tea. The second is that it occasionally fruits malformed viscera, an occasional eyeball or six. The work is nightmarish, but you survive to the end of your shift. You'll never smell the same. And we gain some money. I don't need money. Let's go to the touristy part. The permit is oxblood, wax, and gold leaf, vellum as sleek as the cheek of a newborn babe. And the clothes you're given are beautiful, but nothing like the couturier has offered. A madness of cuts and fashions. My clothes are new. And now we have the usual stuff. Okay. Well, let's take a, let's get some tea. And lower some tear. How much time do I have? Okay, reset this entirely. As I'm trying to bring down my terror before we go in. I'm pretty sure we already did that one. We're down below 50 at least. Okay, let's go to the office of the Bureau of Entertainments and get our reward. Return with news of triumph. Today a plush elephant lies disemboweled on his desk, cotton spilling from the wound. The toy maker appears to be replacing its stuffing with iridescent sea glass, each cut a perfect glimmering trapezoid. Speak, he drawls, his voice castrato sweet, now replacing the toy's eyes with verdigris caked coin. So intent is the toy maker on his labor that he does not look up once, not even when you reach the coda of your exposition. It is only at the end that he speaks again, his tone bored. Well done, you radiant muck snipe. I'd say you exceeded my expectations, but that'd be lying. I had none. And we gained a permit. Okay. And we have another task. Agree to fly into the sun. Okay. You're interested in helping? Divine. The toymaker sets down his plush patient, his stainless steel tweezers, his needles, and coils of glistening thread. London is ignoring our plight. They cannot see the danger the cult presents, how untidy it is, how it draws workers to them till we cannot maintain Worldbury's perfection. I must sort this mess out myself. I once worked with the dazzled sequencer. We were as close to friends as colleagues can be. He has workers in the Clockwork Sun. Devices. He must be able to spare something. Go to him. Get help. Luckily for you, we do need to go to the sun. So, yeah. So how much more do we have? We have 2 more. Let's go for tea again. Like, I know this would give me something. Sure, let's see what it does. The sour tang of that last sip resides in your palate and the oily coating on your tongue. It is like but entirely dissimilar to the more familiar teas of London. It would go magnificently with a fresh scone, some ant-manufactured jam. But the aroma is fundamentally incorrect. The citrus notes mingle with the nostalgia for a time that's never been. The warm spices heighten the anxiety that bubbles with every sip. And we just gained some tea, and we gained tear. Too bad. Here, let's leave. And we don't need to go in here again. I think we must have already had a port report. Let's go back to London. Like, we got down to 50. That's what we can do. We were seeing the time things over here up at Perdurant. Here, let's go down along this way and see if we can get this mapped a little bit. There's the sea. It's just the mist coming up onto the rock, and they call that the beach. Interesting story. Yeah, definitely very interesting. I like that it wasn't just, you know, the circus repeated. And I thought it would be simple. I thought it would be just, you know, it's all a dream, and they just the people running the place are tricking us in our minds. But no, it's actually got some depth to it. I forget what they call that, where it's like the Lotus Worlds or whatever. What you find up there? We can go take a look at that. Look at this thing. It's quite moving around. Smith's Cut. I wonder if these things can poke me. Let's see. Nope, we go right over them. Never mind. A grim foreboding. What will become of me? Because we just hit 50, I'm guessing. Into the mists. I need to get to the other side of it. A windswept habitation. The enterprise of Albion does not rest. Its skies are littered. Its lies are skittered. Okay. So, swap stories for a vision of the heavens. Trade supplies to reduce food. Recruit them or trade for stuff. Reduce terror. Yeah, that was like 20 terror. That was decent. 15 maybe. Your crew enjoy both the Skylark's company and their tall tales of racing continkery across the sky. As the meal comes to a close, one of the Skylarks sings the Ballad of Old Tom, who found a century in hours beneath the slopes of the Mother of Mountains, but squandered every penny it brought him within a year and a day. Alright, let's just head straight south. We're a little low on supplies now, if we need to spend supplies to keep the crew happy. But I think that was worthwhile to keep us below 50%. Reduce the chance of a bad thing happening. It's been a while since we leveled. We have not been doing very well in terms of experience. Fewer creatures. We're not fighting as many creatures. This area is more civilized. I think that's the real difference. We were killing marauders and pirates and scribe spinsters all over the place in the Reach. And really, we're introducing stories. We're not completing stories. So we're not getting those huge experience dumps. I think I can turn in some tea here, right? It was 2 tea, and I have 5 tea. Because we never made it to the sun. And we picked up some from Worldbury. Don't look at me. I'm doing fine. It's 2 out of our... Well, actually, no. We'll go here, then we'll go up and get that, and then go down to London, I guess. A touch of the skies. Keep their hands busy. Try it. Good. Okay, good. We didn't gain any more terror. We took a lot of damage. Like, our hull is actually quite low. Relative to, you know. I guess that was from the Sky Maddened, or whatever it was. The, Star Seared, or something. There you go. And we have increased the strength of the sun again to searing. Maybe that's bad. And this would be rolls of bombazine. Sure. 400 sovereigns. And it looks like 100%'s the most it can go. Okay, you need hours. We don't have hours. And permits. Anything new here? We haven't done anything with that yet, no. Port reports. Sure. 2 ministry gratitude. The strength of the sun has not increased. This cannot go past 100. It seems like I definitely need more permits and more invitations. But I can get those other places. I can't get cryptic benefactors anywhere else. I think we're not going to do anything yet. Alright, let's get... Do I want to do anything here? I mean... Bale's at 50 for that. Really expensive. No, that's where we're going to put our... what am I saying? The bridge slot's going to be where we put our butchery thing. No, I think we'll leave enough alone. Get a couple more of those. Let's go check this out and then go to London. Yeah, where is Her Majesty? You know, like, where's the palace? Maybe it's... I don't know. I would think it would be near London, but maybe not. Okay, this was just a random bit of salvage. Dum bum bum bum. Dum ba da dum. I wonder if it's just like right here. I think that's where we'll go next. Well, actually, no. Let's go and get this port down here. We saw it before. We just didn't bother to go to it. Oh, I bet this is the palace. This is a huge, huge thing right here. Yeah, the Throne of Hours. Apparently, I hadn't gotten the thing for London yet. Is there a way to dock at it? Like, I want to go talk to the Queen. Doesn't look like it. She probably wouldn't want to talk to some random sky captain in the anyway. We did lose some terror when we discovered London, even though we'd already been here, but you know, we discovered the map marker. And I'll take what I can get. We need more crew. There we go. New deal, glass to Worldbury. We'll just grab that. And drop a whole bunch of things into our bank. No, we still need those for the sun. So... I'm just trying to think about what I want to do. Unfortunately, this assaying seems more important than this mining. It's the same slot. But if I did this, I'd feel much more comfortable switching this out, because this is only 8 for that same slot. I mean, I would do that right now if we had the veils for it, but we don't. But I'm worried about losing my sensible plumbing for the quarters. Like, we're at 16. I don't know. Maybe we'll wait till we have a better locomotive. Like, I think that they get, like, passive... Oh, well, I'm in the wrong place. Yeah, like, when we go up to this, it's just going to be able to hold 4 more innately. 4 more people just innately, without any other... without having to consume a slot. That'll make me much more likely to not need the sensible plumbing. I think. Okay. Let's repair. Is there anything? I don't remember what the deal was with this. No. I'm surprised there isn't like a pub or something that I can just sit at to lose terror. But there doesn't seem to be. Okay. Well, let's top up a little bit. One more. And get moving. Wait, one thing I did move everything over to, I moved all my officers over to iron. And I want to get both my hearts and my mirrors above 50. So we need a bit more mirrors, a bit more hearts. Let's see how we can best gain that. We're not at a port. Never mind. We'll do it next time we're in port. But really, I should aim for having both of them innately over 50. And then the officers will just be, you know, gravy. Bonus. So it was just south of there, I think. We were looking for Parliament at the time. We knew it was the wrong way. Let's start looking with our bats. Well, let's get those while we're going by. I would like a better weapon at some point. Like, we've had this since like the first couple hours of the game, and it's good. But I would like to be able to burn all of our steam much faster. Get like a single good hit rather than having to get like 8 good hits. Oh, failure. Lost a crewman. And supplies. That's like so much worse than what could have happened. But my tear fell. That's good. Da, 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 da. I would have thought we'd find it again by now. It didn't find anything. It was out here somewhere, wasn't it? There we go. Okay. Further south than east than I realized. It's dark around here. We must be far from the sun. Da, 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 da. Lots of stained glass. Kensington Station. Oh, the most serene mausoleum. Ah, okay. I think we have some things to do here. Actually, wait a minute. Okay, let's send out our bat. Now we can go. Just drop down by 1 rather than sitting at 2%. The soaring sepulchral heart of the most serene mausoleum, constructed over the cooling embers of Albion's murdered son. The mausoleum was built to house London's most glorious dead. Okay, before we get into it, we have some cheap munitions. Oh, I forgot. I was going to see if we could get Bohemia up. Oh well, we'll have to remember it next time. We can buy stained glass here. Okay. Let's just get those up. Kensington Station is tucked into a side chapel. An elderly footman is lighting candles while waiting to guide visitors into the mausoleum proper. Lighting a fresh taper, which he carries in a silver holder, the footman leads you through a narrow arch and down a winding spiral stair. You can hear weeping close by, but the echoes make it hard to discern the source. Soon after, you hear a sharp burst of laughter and music. Occasionally, you can make out the rumble of what the footman confirms to be the London Necropolis Railroad, far below. At the very bottom is an oak-paneled door. The footman unlocks the door, bows, and departs. The footman disappears into the gloom, leaving you alone, facing a desk shaped like a baptismal font. A cheery registrar sits in the middle, waiting to greet you. She has you fill out a form indicating your profession, age, usage of hours, and to confirm your legal status as alive. The Prince Consort's tomb is exceedingly popular. To prevent congestion, donations are requested. The greater the donation, the longer you'll be allowed to gaze upon the sepulchre. If one is fortunate enough to garner the attention of one of the Deathless, one must be respectful and only speak when spoken to. It does not do for the living to linger long among the dead. Visitors to the most serene mausoleum are ushered into the nave, a vast soaring vault above the heart of the mausoleum. Here, guests of the mausoleum may visit the tomb of the Prince Consort, arrange for the burial of their own dead, or merely enjoy the solemn environs of the Empress's monument to her departed love. Inter your aunt. She wants shore leave and means to join the Deathless. Is she dead? Like, sure. Write a port report. We're gonna not send our aunt here. That seems terrible. The most serene mausoleum endures. The catacombs grow as the necropolis line brings more bodies for burial. Traders bring fresh hours into the mausoleum, endowments from the Empress for the Deathless interred in their vaults. Plans are in motion to add a new chapel to the nave, while the Deathless petition for a new separate station for the exclusive use of their servants. Death has never seen so much motion. So we were looking for a sigil, which will apparently cost us nothing. No. We're looking for examples of the correspondence. You follow the Tinkerer's instructions. A quiet window off a landing below the upper vault. Far below, mourners and courtiers, all in black silk, wander the nave like a host of spiders. You take out a magnifying glass provided, and turn your attention to the walls. Some quick thinking on your engineer's part doused the worst of the flames. The correspondence often has spectacular side effects. Your notebook has survived with your drawings of the many, many identical broken sigils that adorn the gallery that looks out over the dead star below. And we gain some terror. We found the sigil, though. That's good. Search for the Clayman. This guy wants to be part of our choir. High in her renewed majesty's favor. The most serene mausoleum is full of mourners, tourists, aristocrats, seeking to reconcile themselves with death, one way or another. The Claymen are conspicuous in their absence. The clay conductor lumbers gloomily among the mourners, searching fruitlessly for someone who resembles himself. Eventually, the cheery registrar appears. "I'm sorry," she tells you. "Your friend is making people miserable." You explain your situation and she relents. After a brief consideration of those interred in the mausoleum, she suggests you seek an audience with the Engraved Mourner, a man of polished marble. He's one of the Deathless. You'll need to gain favor of the Deathless through meeting them in the mausoleum before you can arrange an audience. Okay. Inter a member of your crew. I mean, is this keying off of how I don't have a full crew? Is that the idea of this? I'm not gonna, kill one of my people, right? Let's see what happens. We lost a bunch of terror. Yeah, that's nice. The cheery registrar adopts an expression of practiced solemnity and calls for a footman. The footman asks a number of questions about the crew member: name, occupation, beer or niche, candles, how often, flowers, and what variety. Eventually he is satisfied and leads you and those of your crew closest to the deceased into the catacombs of the mausoleum. You are guided to a vast tomb where candles have been lit and the scent of lilies is strong. Your crew member is interred in a small drawer in one wall of many. Here your crew member, or some part of them, will remain. Can we just do that again? So this is basically trade 100 sovereigns for a bunch of terror reduced. 10% terror reduced. 10 sovereign per terror? That's not terrible. We've done better, though. Contemplate the dead sun. 94% chance. Let's see if we can... What is going on here? Affiliation Academ. Okay, well, let's see if we can get some more mirrors. Like we were doing her. Your establishment. Bohemia. Establishment. Academe. Well, we're going for mirrors first, and then we'll see if we can mess things around. We want hearts too. Hearts and iron. How's that look? So that's, we're over 50, we're not quite. We're at 47. Good enough. Okay, now before we do anything else, let's go back and then back in. 100% chance. Contemplate the dead sun. Smoke still rises from the sun's smoldering core. The wound that slew it is clearly visible, a great rent torn in one side. Star stuff, long since cooled to the color of coals, spills into the sky. When her renewed majesty entered Albion, she slew the sun with an experimental weapon, an unclear bomb. Then she claimed the sun's throne and dominion. Leaving the remains here as a clear message: not even the suns are above the Empire's reach. Gain some terror. Oh well. So, can't do that now. Affiliation Academe 4. So what is my innate affiliation? So we don't have any right now. We could get 1, 2, 2. So no, we can't do this. Okay. Approach the Deathless. The most serene mausoleum houses more than just the prince consort. Under its soaring spires, the empress keeps her most favored courtiers. Those lucky few are provided with every luxury they might wish, and a generous stipend of ours. The only condition of this bounty is that they are dead. A legality only. They cannot possess property, nor hold public office as a result. They are the Deathless, Occasionally, they deign to... Okay, so they're not really dead. They're just, like, you know, political prisoners. I get it. So... You may speak with the Duchess, the Engraved Mourner, but we need a favor bestowed. Favor of the Deathless. Entertain a request from the Macabre Counselor. I've not yet begun the story. An invitation to dine. This will allow you to take on unique bargains for the Deathless, although you will lose favor. The bargain is randomized. So that's basically a way to make money. The Dismal Chamberlain. When you did not have ambition, the Martyr King's Cup. Never heard of that. Have not spoken with him. You need a favor bestowed. Make a donation if I have Ministry of Proved Literature. I don't have one. So, let's try to speak with the Duchess in Carnadine. The Duchess would be a small figure were it not for the mounds of silk and brassard that comprise her dress. She glides along the flagstones, a great train of scarlet cloth following her, like the telltale trail of blood in a penny dreadful. Today she is menacing the footmen, pressing them into our mock battles in the Tower Carmine. Fatalities are rare in her battles, maimings are not. She gives you a red-lipped smile. A footman intervenes and introduces you. She is pleased to encounter a genuine captain and quizzes you on all the battles you fought on the wilderness. The goriest details she demands you linger on. She parts with you only reluctantly. You have gained favor. A page is playing the victory lament. And we gain terror. Now that we have favor, though, maybe we can talk to this dude? The Engraved Mourner consents to a meeting in his many-pillared chambers. You sit on couches of blue stone and drink wine in ivory cups. The conductor hunches, his form far heavier than the furniture can support, while the mourner reclines elegantly upon his divan. After polite introductions, the conductor demands, "Why do you look different?" The mourner smiles. "I was built for a purpose. To guide, to shepherd, to travel. It was deemed I should be pleasing to the eye and ear. Now you wanted to hear me sing?" His singing is somber and cold and sad. The clay conductor shakes his head. No good, too much like the sky. You make your excuses. Talk to him. We gained 1,000 experience. We have a lot of experience. 18,000? But we need... There was that whole thing where we lost like 3,000 experience. I wonder... Like, I don't get this total, but that's okay. That's certainly less than the amount we've earned in total. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a real steep level experience curve. I don't remember. Anyway, let's go ahead. Continue. So we can't do anything here because we don't have the right time. Okay. We can talk to this dude though. Ask the conductor why the meeting did not go well. He's defective, plain to hear. No wonder he lives surrounded by humans. If they only knew true clay music. The conductor grimaces. He directs your attention to a crumpled brochure. It is from Magdalen's, House of Small Comfort in the Reach. Any company the weary skyfarer needs, we shall provide. Anyone you can think of, those of a rubbery persuasion, the company of the dead, even clay company. We shall see, can we? Okay, well, we'll go back to Magdalen's eventually. This is really strange. I can just say go away? Like, nobody else has that option. But apparently we can just say go away. Make sure your hold isn't full. I'm kind of curious what that would do, but yeah, let's not lose him. Okay, anything else we can do here? Yeah, of course, we can visit the memorial. The Most Serene Mausoleum was built to commemorate Her Renewed Majesty's dead love. His tomb is the heart of the mausoleum. The vaults, chapels, mourners, and courtiers, all arteries and capillaries to his memory. To visit the tomb, one must speak to the cheery registrar. So, join the reverent crowds. A few sovereigns will buy you a few minutes. Deliver specimens, which will reduce a moderate amount. Okay. So it seems that this is the main terror dump. We could trade money, 3 for a little bit, or 3 uncanny specimens, really, to reduce a moderate amount of tear. I don't think we have that much tear, so let's just reduce a little bit. It went down 1. I'm disappointed. I mean, it only cost 3. That'd be a lot of clicking. Let's just go ahead and do this and drop it all the way down. Sure. And I bet, actually, if we did this, not only would we lose a lot of terror, but maybe something would happen? I don't know. Either way, now we are without terror. And we can't do anything else here. Nothing to buy. Okay. It's 2 hours. I think I'm going to go ahead and take a break here. So thank you everyone for watching. I mean, the whole point of this was to go into the sun, and we spent 2 hours not going to the sun. But we did go through quite a bit of story in Worldbury, in the Most Serene Mausoleum, and the Royal Society. So yes, thank you for watching. Until next time.